together, coming up short and giving up never. We've it together. Come along, come along, come along, come along. Mending it together. A world on fire can't last forever. We're gonna mend it together. A stitch in time is gonna save nine. A stitch in time is gonna save nine. And I wanna be a catalyst for change, trying something different. I wanna change the rules of the game, 'cause even the smallest bird can fly up to the top of the tree. And I wanna be a catalyst and find out what could be.
Welcome to Catalyzing Change Week. This year's Catalyzing Change Week is about solutions from the front lines by social innovators.
In 2022, Catalyst2030 concentrated its efforts on bringing proximate leaders and frontline solutions to the forefront. Collaborations led by members from the Global South produced groundbreaking reports on climate and transforming education, with an emphasis on offering local solutions. We continued our mission to create an enabling environment for social entrepreneurs to flourish by initiating a letter to donors, signed by more than 1,200 social entrepreneurs and innovators. The Catalyst 2030 awards ceremony was spectacular, and the awards themselves welcomed by the private sector, governments, bio multilaterals and donors.
Catalyst 2030 as a movement is disruptive.
One of the best things I think that's come out of Catalyst 2030 so far is incredible collaboration across the ecosystem that just didn't exist before Catalyst came into being.
The thing I love most about Catalyst is that it's an open movement for social entrepreneurs around the world.
I'd encourage anyone who's looking to be more connected with their local communities around social development goals to come along to Catalyzing Change Week.
Welcome to Catalyzing Change Week.
And welcome everyone to the Catalyst 2030 informative session. I am very, very excited to be here with you today. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing my screen just 1 second so that we can see one another. I see a lot of cameras are off, but we do wanted to just introduce ourselves quickly. I am Maddalena. I am the selection and onboarding coordinator for Catalyst 2030. I've been with Catalyst for the past 3 years now. And my main role is that really of supporting new members who would like to join the movement to join us. And in the first 6 months, just trying to be the support to the members to find their place in the movement. Today with me, I have Yorgos. Yorgos, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Yorgos. I'm the membership selection intern with Catalyst 2030, and I'm really glad to welcome you all to our informative session.
And Hira is also here from the engagement team. Hira, if you would like to introduce yourself quickly.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Hira. I'm an intern at the membership and community building engagement team with Maddalena, Yorgos, and Maria. Thanks for joining today.
Thank you, Hira. And I see we have 2 amazing members. So Robin, who's going to be helping us today, sharing a little bit about Catalyst 2030. So Robin, would you like to say hi?
Thank you so much, Maddie. So hi, everybody. It's such a delight to be in this space with you, and particularly just to share in how to get closer to Catalyst after many of you have, I'm sure, experienced this beautiful, beautiful Catalyzing Change Week together.
And I see we have Karen with us today. So hi, Karen. Thank you for joining. Other members I see, Sahana. Hi. So amazing. Today we really, again, just wanted to provide the space for you to learn more about Catalyst 2030 after many of you have participated in CCW. Catalyzing Change Week is our flagship campaign. So today we just want to share information if you would like to join us and join more initiative as Catalyzing Change Week and the different parts of the movement. Also, if you're a member and you would like to have a bit more clarity about how Catalyst is structured and how you can engage, I think today is going to be an amazing session. So just to share a little bit about the agenda, we will start with a little bit of an introduction about Catalyst 2030 together with Robin, just to get an idea of what is this network really and how powerful it can be. We will, of course, look into the history and ethos of Catalyst, so the mission, vision, and value. Also, for you to understand what is the value add of joining this movement. We will share the structure of Catalyst, the different chapters, collaboration, working groups. You'll get used to these terms, but just the groups that we have in Catalyst 2030. And then we want to make extra clear what are the next steps for you to join in case you're interested in joining us. And of course, we will have some times for question and answer. But also if you have any kind of question, just feel free to put them in the chat. Either me, Yorgos, or Hira are gonna try and reply. So to get us started, we are curious. We would love to know your name, organization, and the city where you're calling from. And if you want also your LinkedIn profile, so we can already start connecting. You'll see Catalyst 2030, it's all about connection. And that's, I think, one of the most beautiful and powerful characteristic of the movement. So feel free to put that in the chat. And I just want to briefly introduce the amazing member, Robin. It's a privilege to be here with you today. So Robin is one of our members from South Africa. She's part of many different groups, many different chapters, and she's with Africa Voices Dialogue. So I'll hand over to you, Robin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maddie. Yeah, so just wanted to chat a little bit this afternoon for me, around why Catalyst 2030 and what is it about this phenomenal movement that is so valuable and so appealing and so attractive and so powerful. So I've been part of Catalyst 2030 for probably a little over 2 years, Maddie. Probably joined about half a year or a year after Catalyst 2030 had been conceptualized and had started, and joined on the basis of really what was projected as the ethos and the value, which is creating a convening space to foster collaborative work, to foster co-creative work, to foster thinking together for social entrepreneurs that's run by social entrepreneurs, and a space that really is agnostic of power, that welcomes everybody in, that really values the contribution of every single member, and that allows for visualization from the tiniest all the way through to the most powerful, or the spaces that have the most voice, and in which equality is really respected and shared. And that has been the experience of Catalyst 2030 for me. So it is a vast space. So don't be intimidated by the vastness of the space, because within the vast space and the many, many members that are present and the huge number of activities and reach of the member organizations, there really is a facilitation of the opportunities for intimacy. And if in this space it's possible to meet one collaborator, celebrate that. And if it's possible to step into a national collaboration, amazing. And if it's possible to step into a regional space, even better. But, you know, the celebration is every instance of the opportunity to connect with, be encouraged by, be supported by, be cared for by, and do practical work. But the practical work is not the goal. This climate of creating a space of care for individuals doing remarkable work at every level of the social system and the civic society sector and the social entrepreneurship space and the not-for-profit space and the funding space, celebrating each item of work happening is what Catalyst 2030 is about. And then fostering an environment within which connections can come easily, not without work, because there is always a little investment required for connections, but the space where they are available and can be easily made, and people are viewing each other with open, loving eyes, it's an incredible space to be in. So I'm going to stop there for the moment and allow us to carry on with the presentation.
Thank you, Robin. So we will start just with a quick video about why Catalyst 2030 came about.
Welcome to Catalyst 2030. Catalyst 2030 was launched in January 2020 at the World Economic Forum in Davos. The movement was co-founded by a diverse group of social entrepreneurs, many of which are members of our ecosystem partners: Ashoka, the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, Echo and Green, and the SCO Foundation. They came together and identified 4 key challenges that are preventing us from achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by the deadline of 2030. These challenges include a lack of resources, minimal collaborations and siloed work, a disconnect between funding models and needs, and a lack of voice in the decision-making processes. By joining forces with communities, governments, businesses, researchers, and others, Catalyst 2030 members are changing systems at all levels through collective actions and bold new strategies. Would you like to connect with other like-minded changemakers and create an impact in your community? Join the movement. Join Catalyst 2030.
Over to you, Robin.
Thank you, Maddie. Yeah, so just a little bit of information about a little bit of technical information about Catalyst 2030. So firstly, the organization is approximately 3 years old, and in that time there has been a catalytic expansion in terms of the numbers of members in the organization, or in the network, shall I say. And I think that is a real validation of the fact that this kind of collaboration supporting network is being called out for by our system. There's a responsiveness to it, people are longing for it, and so it really does attract social innovators into this network. It is also, I think, a response to the fact that the borders of Catalyst 2030 are porous, so they are open and welcoming, and they are not closed to other networks. So it's not a case of, well, you can choose to join Catalyst 2030, or you can choose to join Schwab, or you can choose to join Ashoka. It really is all-encompassing and is a network of networks. And I think there's been a gap in our system for that kind of space, somebody that agnostically convenes lots and lots of different social innovators without the sort of ego-led trying to hold on to being the space, but rather being a facilitative space for everybody to connect across borders and boundaries. Currently, there are more than 2,000 member organizations of social innovators and of organizations that are involved in social innovations, and that represents 3,100 plus individuals, probably to go up after this week. More than 124 countries and territories are represented. But what's really powerful about the fact that 124 countries are represented is the fact that Catalyst 2030 is increasingly starting to be able to organize those countries into regional areas, into chapters, and so accelerate the advocacy capacity of those countries. And more than 2 billion individual people and lives have been touched by the member organizations. And part of the power of this collaborative is not only in fostering new collaborative projects, but really in supporting existing work so that the quality and caliber of Individual organizations' existing work can be amplified, and they themselves are supported to really do their work well. So the 2 billion people who are being touched, that the organizations interfacing with them are supported to make that work more effective. You can pop to the next slide, Maddie. And I think just in terms of really reflecting on the mission, vision, and values of Catalyst 2030, it's really clear from these that what comes through is the care and support and interest in the work of member organizations and in fostering environments to deepen and support that. And moreover, to catalyze collaboration across sectors that allows us to unleash our collective potential for global systems change. So rather than just trying to foster new collaborative project, it is about amplifying and connecting and opening the flow for the potential to flow between us in order to achieve the change that we are all striving for. The vision of Catalyst 2030 is a world where we achieve the SDGs by 2030, which is a huge ask, we know, operating in this space, but the catalytic nature of work that fosters collaboration means that we can make accelerated progress through our connections with each other rather than a really slow linear scaling type of progression. So looking for that asymptotic progression towards those goals through the unprecedented mobilization of social entrepreneurs, partners, and resources. And the values of Catalyst 2030 are key. So the intent with which we enter this space needs to be really resonant with the intention and values of Catalyst 2030 itself. So those are to hold people and nature at the center of our work, to step into a co-creative mindset, so to release yourself from the particular and to be willing to bring that particular and step into co-creative space. Collaborative leadership, so we all work and lead together. To do this work with humble audacity, so being brave enough and courageous enough to take on the challenge and humble enough to do so from a position of servanthood. And then the spirit of generosity. So generosity towards one another, towards our system, towards ourselves, and towards the greater collective that we are part of. You can carry on, Maddie. Thank you. So that approach really is reflected in that diagram, that our underpinnings are to build and maintain, the intention is to build and maintain a movement of social change innovators. The foundation upon which that is built is that we really are supporting dominant culture shifts. So this is paradigmatic shifts in how we do this work, and being clear that we are shifting the foundations of how we are working towards the SDGs, not just the particulars of the outcomes. And we do that through developing an enabling environment within which social enterprises can flourish, catalyzing collaborative action, facilitating systems change learning, so building capacity for understanding how we engage with a system, where we look for the levers of change, where we really look for catalytic possibilities. So we select the right point, not more effort, but the right effort to unlock systems. And the vision is really, the overarching vision is to move towards a world within which social change innovators are able to achieve the SDGs by 2030 through unprecedented mobilization around themselves, the social entrepreneurial space, their partners, and the resources that are required to achieve that change. So people at the center, people and nature at the center, and nature is quite an important member of Catalyst 2030. But members, people, human beings, the people that are the vehicles of change are at the center of Catalyst 2030. It is a hugely value-driven membership organization. So bringing your full self in doesn't mean you have to dedicate your full time, because everybody has really busy jobs, but it does mean dedicating your full intent and dedicating your principles towards those that are going to mobilize around Catalyst 2030's objectives. I'm not going to go into huge detail, just sufficient to say that the ways in which members can engage are multiple and varied. You can engage through the General Assembly. These come round surprisingly quickly. It is always worthwhile sitting in at least one General Assembly, at least one every couple of months, so that you get a sense of the whole. So that sort of overarching perspective. Then if you're really interested, you know, for those people who are really sitting on the hot seat, there is a governing council. The working groups are open. So whatever your interest is, sign up for a working group. Sign up and at least show up to a couple of sessions to feel if the match is good. So you're not expected to sign your life away when you sign up to the working groups, but please do sign up to experience them and to see where you best want to bring your energy. And don't sign up for a million. Really examine yourself. What speaks most to you? What is activating your sense of interest and intention most? And then jump in and give it a try. Then there are these opportunities for collaboration. And the collaborations, Catalyst 2030 really hosts the convening space. So my experience is that I've met the most amazing individuals through Catalyst 2030 that have not necessarily been facilitated through a Catalyst 2030 session, but by having shown up in the same space, being interested in each other's work, going into this offline conversation, and then starting to work together. So this is not controlled. It is really finding a space of like-minded people and these spontaneous, collaborative, supportive relationships that are able to develop out of that. Then there are specific multi-member collaborations. So those can be designed afresh, or they can be stepped into the existing multi-member collaborations that are underway. Then there is an amazing space, which is the regional and country chapters. And these are really think tank or thinking, convening spaces to think about your region, your country, what could move. Those meetings are held at the metronome timing of the chapter itself. And it's a great space to engage with other people in your region who are part of Catalyst 2030. Obviously, there are those who are not, but to engage in thinking about your region and your country together, to gain visibility and insight into who else is doing what else. And again, to form spontaneous connections and collaborations around specific items of work, or to co-create new opportunities for your country and region. Then there are the task forces. So these are short-term groups brought together to design and achieve specific objectives and to move projects forward. Also quite exciting because it gives you a quick in, quick out, something specific created. And then there is the wonderful secretariat who, once you are part of Catalyst 2030 and you get even a tiny bit involved, you will love dearly because they basically do everything. So sorry, Maddie and Georgios, but they are incredible conveners of groups and people and conversations. So this is just a quick overview. If you want to take a quick snapshot, you're welcome to do so. We are not going to go into everything. These are just a couple of the various groups and collaborations. So there is something for everybody. One word of advice: don't try to be everything to everybody and everywhere at once, because this is all voluntary work, and it's all work that is designed to facilitate flow. So if you become part of too much and you block your own flow, not helpful and not the intention.
Can I just add there, Robin? As you said, this is just a quick snapshot of the many collaborations that we have. Yorgos has just put into the chat the link to the Catalyst 2030 collaboration list. We have just created a member portal. So you would, I think if I would come in here and I would say, okay, there are these so many groups that I can join and participate in, I think I would be a little bit lost. So that is why we created the member portal, which is basically what you're going to be seeing clicking on the link that Yorgos has created. When you become a member, you will be able to see a little bit more. you will be able to interact with the things that you're going to be seeing, but there is a way to filter based on the topic of the collaboration. So as Robin said, of course, we can always launch new collaboration if you think that something is missing, but also an invitation to have a look at the collaborations that already exist, because they're doing a great job. And members are really driving these with the support of the Secretariat most of the time, but just to highlight how amazing the membership is in driving and creating these collaborations.
Thank you, Maddie. So here are represented some of the Catalyst 2030 chapters. One thing that I do want to mention, and because this is very much the work that I'm also interested in fostering collaborative, co-creative work, I just want to share from my perspective that when you are working with emergent, evolving work, don't get stuck on the particular picture that you see in front of you now. This map is evolving day by day. I think you launched, how many new chapters were launched over Catalyzing Change Week? I think like 8 or something crazy.
Yes, yeah. Right.
So, you know, ecosystems are alive, and this is an ecosystem initiative. And ecosystems, what we're trying to do is not map the system statically. It's to open the potential and to map the relationships and the flow and the development and the evolution over time. And so don't become impatient if you kind of go into a Catalyst 2030 space and something is shifting and changing. That is the nature of this work. Becoming comfortable with how things evolve and emerge and transform is essential in a collaboration space and in a co-creative space. And part of the training, and you know, the one piece around what Catalyst 2030 is seeking to do is to help people become comfortable with systems engagement and systems training. It's a very different way of thinking from project management training, where things are kind of contained and controlled. Part of the work of Catalyst 2030 is to allow us to become comfortable with vastness and with uncertainty and with evolution and emergence. Because that is one of the foundational paradigmatic shifts that we need to catalyze asymptotic change. And we need to become comfortable with moving fast and not worrying so much about the specifics of what's coming out, but really the way we are being together, paying attention to the way we are being together. So this is the current status of the country and the region chapters, multiple country chapters held within a number of different regional hubs and regional chapters. And each of them has slightly different leadership, and each of them is emerging on its own volition. And so it is an emergent map of multiple different moving parts, which is both exciting to participate in and can feel hugely overwhelming. So really a suggestion, don't get overwhelmed. Step in one space and do what speaks to you. And as you need, the other spaces will open up as well.
Exactly. And if you ever feel overwhelmed once you join, us from the membership team are always here. Our role is really that of supporting members. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can either reach out to us, or also in the context of the chapters, each region is supported by a group of people from the Secretariat. So as soon as people join, they get connected to the regional coordinator of the area, and they're also always there to support you and guide you whenever you want to engage with something, or also if you feel like you have too many things on your own work that are happening at the same time, you can always say, okay, sorry, for now, I just need to take a little bit of a break. Also, just to mention that, as Robin was mentioning now, we have just launched new country chapters, and we are always in the process of launching new country chapters, really to create that system in the different countries. So in case you want to join and you're interested in reinforcing, let's say, a little bit the social enterprise ecosystem in your country, that's always a possibility with Catalyst 2030.
Yeah. Okay, so just to follow on briefly, what we've been saying, lots and lots of engagement opportunities. The goal is to strengthen and increase active participation, connection, collaboration, and leadership amongst the members. Overwhelm doesn't do that. Biting off just the right amount. That's how we feed and nourish our capacity to step into active participation and connection. And so, you know, there are many, many different opportunities for that connection. Look for the kind that works for you. So if you're a one-on-one person, look for the one-on-one meeting opportunities, the buddy system, the mentorship system. Those are going to do it for you. Look out when you're in meetings. This is such a beautiful open community. If you hear somebody speak and it really appeals to you, just reach out and connect with them and ask them if you could have a chat. And mostly from this environment, people are so eager to connect. It actually is it's a very powerful format because it allows you to connect across boundaries that sometimes feel very difficult to bridge. So like LinkedIn lets you connect with people that you wouldn't think you could. This is like on steroids because you already know that you have the same ethos and values. And so it allows you to connect with people. If you connect with a really weird motive, you might find that the connection dies quick. But the initial connection, it's really facilitated through this space. Then if you are very interested in this kind of work, so how do I work with a system? How do I build networks? How do I build communities? What can I learn? What can I learn about fundraising or programmatic management or finances, etc.? There's a huge space for learning and capacity building. Connect into one of those. There's a lot of peer-to-peer support. So if you're sitting, you're a new founder, you are starting to run an organization, you're not familiar with a lot of the, you know, logistic or organizational difficulties, or you just really need oasis to breathe, please connect into the peer-to-peer support. So Tendril is a fantastic forum. I love Tendril. I simply do not have capacity to join a Tendril group one point in my life, but I can strongly recommend that it is a space to join, especially if you don't have a strong support network around you. A non-judgmental, wonderful space to build your own courage and capacity. And then there is a space that is really wonderful, which are the Friday Gardens, and those are also just thinking spaces. So sitting in spaces with other social entrepreneurs where you can shoot the breeze, bring up issues that worry you, ask for peer support for something sticky that you're facing, have some philosophical conversations about the nature of our work. The Friday Gardens are beautiful. Definitely starting off, the two things that I would suggest you do are join your country chapter and attend the odd General Assembly, because from those two, it's the small bit and the big bit, and they'll give you like a sense of what's happening and where you can engage further.
Thank you, Robin. Hira, would you like to add anything on the different engagement opportunities that we offer?
No, I think Robin explained it really well. And I really encourage everyone to, if they want to learn more, if they have questions about any of them, just contact us. And maybe something wasn't said, it's all these offerings are very flexible and can adapt it to your needs. It's just we can brainstorm together around those offerings, and we can adapt it to your language, to your region, to anything that you need. So it's if you feel like you're interested in one of them, please contact us.
Thank you, Hira. Maybe let's put the email in the chat so people can.
I am doing it.
Super. You are amazing. So just briefly, Robin, would you like to take this?
No, carry on.
Amazing. So just wanted to mention some of the flagship campaigns that we have in Catalyst 2030. I hope you have experienced as much as possible of catalyzing change week, so I'm not going to be talking too much about that. Just to mention, you will see all the recordings of the different sessions in case you missed any of those on YouTube. We are in the process of uploading, so just have a look at that whenever you want. The second big flagship campaign that we have is the Catalyst 2030 Awards, really in that idea of creating an ecosystem and collaborating with partners. So the awards is a way for us to celebrate those partners that are really accelerating systems change, because as Robin said, that's really at the core of what we do. Just gonna quickly show the next slide because nomination for the Catalyst 2030 Awards are open now. Members and non-members can vote, can nominate. So if you know already people that are working and really doing amazing work in systems change, you can also nominate. We are celebrating donors, governments, corporates, and bilaterals and multilaterals. So if you want to learn more, we will put the link in the chat. The last flagship campaign I wanted to mention here is the People's Report, which is a campaign that we did last year, really to understand what is the progress towards the SDG on the ground. So it was a very fun and interactive, basically, survey that we were sharing to understand what was the situation on the ground, and we created a report based on that data. We hope to do another People's Report survey, let's say, soon. We had a session about that, so have a look at that on YouTube too. Other amazing initiatives that have emerged of Catalyst 2030, and I'm sharing this just to give you a little bit of a sense of what really can be created by members in Catalyst, is the Shifting Funding Paradise Practices. We have a complete website on that, so again, if you want, have a look at that. Basically, that website includes all the initiatives that our members are doing around the world in shifting the way in which funding is allocated to systemic, collaborative, or different organizations. So we, for example, signed a letter for a call to action to donors to shift the way in which they distribute funding with the whole community. It was a great success. Again, if you want to have a look, it's on the website. Social Change Innovators is a platform that our members have created, and it's really a way for us to share knowledge because we really need to break that silo in which we have been working so far. Really, it's an open source platform in which you can upload your resources and share those with the whole community. And Catalyst Market is the biggest and first collaboration that was born in Catalyst. It's a sustainable website, a sustainable platform again, in which members that are artisans or that have a sustainable product, they can sell it on this platform. Again, great success, really, really powerful connection have been created through Catalyst Market. I have been shopping and it's just beautiful the way in which everything has been thought in a very inclusive and sustainable way. So again, I invite everybody to have a look. I'm gonna just stop 1 second to know if there are questions. I'm gonna have a look at the chat. If you have any kind of questions, just feel free to put your hand up and mute. Give it a couple of seconds to see. Okay, just feel free to put those in the chat in case you're a little bit shy. Would you be adding artists to shop of Catalyst Market? I can see any. Yes, so basically people get added continuously on Catalyst Market. I'm gonna stop sharing because we don't need to look at that. People get added continuously. It's a collaboration. So basically you need to join Catalyst 2030 and Good Market, which is the organization which is leading that collaboration. And then people get added basically every month. So definitely you will be able to see more coming up every month. How can I join the Catalyst movement in Toronto? I'm going to share that in a second. How do you determine it? So we always suggest people to join as an organization just because joining as an organization gives the whole team that works with you the opportunity to engage with Catalyst 2030 and with the whole movement. It's also a better way for you probably to get to create collaboration with other organizations, but also joining as an individual is an option. Joining as an individual would be really for those people that are willing to bring their knowledge and all their expertise in the sector. So I hope that clarifies. Again, we tend to suggest to join as an organization, but individual membership is always possible. Perfect. I think I've addressed all the questions. So I'm going to just address the last one that I didn't talk about, just to share about how you can join us. And then again, any questions, put them in the chat. We have 4 main membership criteria. And let's say these membership criteria are just a way for us, as Robin was saying before, to create a movement which is cohesive, both in our mission and mainly in our values. So we've done, for example, a research with the movement, and we understood that that is really what makes Catalyst special. So we are a group of organizations and individuals that create impactful solutions towards the sustainable development goals and sustainability and systems change as a whole. And to be part of Catalyst, you need to have that collaborative approach. As Robin said at the beginning, that is really one of the core values that we have. So we're really looking for that for our members. And of course, the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion are at the core of everything that we do, connected very, very much with our values. But yes, those are the main membership criteria. And just to be extra clear on the member journey, we have a membership form that Yorgos is going to put in the chat in a second, which is pretty extensive. This is our new membership form. A year of working together with members just to make sure that we have the correct information about you. So basically what we're asking is information about yourself, your organization, your work, and your needs. So why would you like to join the movement? That information is then reviewed by the Secretariat and the selection committee. So we have a group of members that is like the gatekeeper for the movement. Again, just to make sure that we are all sharing the same values, sharing the same objectives. If your application is approved, then you will be invited to an onboarding ceremony, which is very similar to the session that we're having now. It's just a bit more action-oriented. So what we're going to try to do, and we're also reshaping that onboarding ceremony, is going to be already connecting you with the initiative that is connected to your needs and to your interests. And that is why we need to have an idea in the membership form, so then we can already start supporting you in the best way. And then, of course, everything that you need to do once you join the onboarding ceremony is just starting collaborating, starting connecting, as Robin said, reach out to members and really create that special bonding that is Catalyst 2030. Before we close, I wanted to invite everybody in 15 minutes. So I know Catalyzing Change has been a lot, but we do have our closing ceremony in 15 minutes. And you can still register to that. I think the panel discussion is going to be amazing. So in case you have time, of course, join us. Otherwise, again, the link is going to be put on, the video is going to be put on YouTube. So do not hesitate to have a look at that too. And then I'm going to just go back here to the social media. So you know, probably you have already started following us on the different social media, but that is a really powerful tool that our comms team is using to spread the word about our about the work that our members do, which is amazing, but also about the different engagement opportunities that we have and that our member lead. So do follow us on the different social media and the YouTube channel on which you will be able to find all the CCW sessions is Catalyst 2030. And I think that's the end of our presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I see we have 12 messages in the chat. So if anyone, if Robin, you would like to add anything, Karen, anybody of the members present want to add anything, please feel free. And I'm going to look at the chat.
No, I think that's enough, but it would be wonderful. It would be wonderful just if you can pop your hands up, and those of you who are able and willing, if you can pop your videos on, because there's nothing more lovely than seeing each other's faces. And anybody who's got any question or thought or comment, just pop your hand up so that we can engage a little bit and speak to each other. Fatima, were you wanting to say something because your hand sort of went up?
I'm too shy. I feel like I need to digest a lot of things that have been said. I'm gonna do my homework after this session because at the moment it's a bit confusion. It's not because of you, but it has been a lot of information that just needs to be digested. But thank you very much.
It's a lot, and just to say, Fatima, and I'll share a little bit from my side. So, you know, I kind of always feel like I'm not involved enough in Catalyst 2030 because there is just so much. So if there's one piece of advice, it's don't respond by trying to understand everything and then decide. Respond to whether your heart is calling, whether your heart is like, oh, I want in. And then when you get in, don't drown. Just like take a little paddleboard and put your toes in and go for a small swim and see what happens. Maria.
Hello, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. I have been joining some sessions this week and I am going to join some today. I have to tell you that I have been impressed by really the way you're putting your values into action. I feel I have felt welcome, and I am impressed by the diversity of the network. I have been working in sustainable development for 30 years. And for many people I have seen that are much younger than I am, it's the first time in 30 years that I see a network like this one with this such an ambition to really put people at the center. And so I think it's amazing. I am very inspired by what you're doing. And I think it's that, as you were saying, Robin, we don't have to be afraid of, sometimes, it doesn't have to be clear. We have to trust the spontaneous connections. We have to trust the also being, not be afraid to break silos. I come from international development. I have worked with nonprofits, governments, and social entrepreneurs, but sometimes we're used to working in our own islands. And we don't have to be the only way of achieving the SDGs is really to think and to work across disciplines. It's the only way to do it. So I think one of the things that I have found so interesting about this network is that it's truly multidisciplinary. So thank you. I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Sumathi. It's muted.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much. It's lovely. It's my first session. It was very informative, but more than informative, it was very warm and welcoming. Just feel like signing up. And I think it's amazing that within a short period of time, we got a feel of the culture and the kind of work that will happen. So thank you for putting this together. And it's a very nice introduction. And for me, who moved countries last year and feeling a little bit unsettled and trying to decide what I want to do in a new place, I immediately feel that this platform really can help me, because I would like to be involved in the space of sustainability in which I've been working for more than 2 decades. But in a new country, I am feeling a bit lost. I want to create networks, and I think this is going to be a wonderful platform for doing that. So I'm really looking forward to being part of this initiative. And I think, like you mentioned, the collaboration is a big thing here, and adding to each other's efforts rather than reinventing the wheel. I think that's the great way to go. So thank you so much, and looking forward to being a part of the group and contributing to SDGs and our common goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumathi. Betsy, I see your hand is up. But you need to unmute. first.
There we go. I just want to say, as a small organization, we work in Rwanda. We've been working for over 10 years, 11 years. It is so hard to make these connections. And the foundation of what we do is all about collaborating, partnership, changing minds, everything from the granular level up. And it's really hard. There are those silos. And how, as a smaller organization, do you kind of break through? Even if you're recognized for your work and what you've done in your country, it's still hard. Egos are involved. How do we just want to work together. We just want to help people. So I really have found this week to be so amazing, what you're doing, how it's grown in 3 years. I did attend last year. So thank you for smaller organizations like me. I work in my own one-person office here in the United States. So I have nobody to bounce ideas off of and learn from if I don't have this kind of gathering and platform. So thank you all.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, everyone. I'm very glad. Again, I'm glad Robin was here today because I think her narrative is always so nice. So any other question, anything else we can do for you today, other than inviting you to the closing ceremony? No. Shahana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Just one request. If we ever have another CW, if it's possible that some sessions were closed, and if it's possible, so we can be involved in those closed door sessions. And it is frustrating when I want to sign up for 2 sessions, but they are at the same time. So I kind of open the 2 sessions, one on a laptop and one on a phone. But I don't know, it's just, a lot of sessions that I was really interested in. I benefited from all of them. And I would love to say thank you so much from the heart, because this is the first platform that we as Yemeni chapter or Yemeni youth or Yemeni women can involve in. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahana. As Karen is saying, all sessions are going to be recorded and are going to be shared. So you won't miss anything. And I'm glad for that, Robin.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you so much, Hannes. I have that exact sensation. I was saying to Georges, hell, you guys have made my life so hard because I had hardly any time this week and I've only been able to attend like 7 or 8 and I was only intending to attend 3 and then I got sucked into more. But I think it speaks to this space. It's when we really genuinely connect and release control, that's when growth happens so fast that you just actually can't keep up with it. So you have to surrender and just jump out the airplane and fly in the wind and hope, well, we know the parachute will open, but there is, a fundamental shift in how do I get to everything and control everything and be part of everything? And how do I trust that I'm part of this huge ecosystem that's beautiful in so many aspects, that's challenged in some aspects. But where I am, I'm going to celebrate and I'm going to just release kind of wanting to know everything because, asymptotic growth doesn't happen that way. It's out of our control. And the best we can do is to create the kinds of conditions that let it happen because we say we want it. And then when we start to experience it, we feel the wind rushing through our hair and a lot of adrenaline, and we can either panic or we can just enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Ramin. So thank you everyone for being with us today. What we will do is I'll reach out to you sharing the recording of the session and the slides and the membership form. Those are going to be my 3 links. Of course, have a look at the Catalyst 2030 YouTube channel in case you would like to have any other session And I'm looking forward to see you in 4 minutes in the closing ceremony. We're very excited about that one. And a big thank you also for just attending Catalyzing Change Week. We're looking forward to more collaborations with you and having you on the movement. So thank you for joining today and looking forward to seeing you in other meetings. And thank you, Robin, Karen, Shahenna for joining today. Thank you, the team. We'll see you soon, hopefully, and have an amazing rest of the day. Bye, everyone.